Hi, my name is Ty-Wolz. I'm representing as co-owner Ty-Wolz LLC. We are a content provider. Our goal is to create content and eventually have our own OTT, which is just a subscription-based uh, area, just kind of like the Net and the Hugh and I can't say their names, but like some of the wonderful things that you get to watch. Ours will be Wolz, or Ty-Wolz TV. Yeah, see, no script. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I am making a lettuce wrap. Comes from a Chinese place that is in our Knoxville area, and I can't say the name, but it's a PF lettuce wrap, and that's about all I can say. So right now I've already cooked the chicken and I'm just prepping the onion, and the onion is about where I need it to be. It's translucent, and we are going to go ahead and add back in the chicken. Like I said, we already pre-cooked it. Now this will just help it brown up. So I drained it so that way we don't have all that chicken juice that we have to get rid of eventually. So just much better to drain it as you cooking your onion. And so we're just going to mix it all in here. And my wonderful producer right now, who is my wife, she's the other co-owner, she was telling us about smell vision. We wish we had that. And she also told me a little trick. Well, it's going to tell you a little trick, so I hear a little trick on how not to cry when cooking an onion. Go for it, hon.
When cutting an onion.
Cutting an onion, sorry. See? No script.
If you leave the base, the roots of the onion intact, you're fine. If you cut from the head of the onion back, you'll be absolutely fine and won't cry.
Good to know. I've been cutting onion wrong my entire life.
I would always cut out both ends and then start cutting the onion. And every time never failed.
I heard of another trick of using cold water. To rinse it through cold water. I don't know if it works.
No, I've tried that one.
So what I'm going to add next is just water chestnut. And there goes my mic. See, we're just going to leave it there though. We're going to get it heated up. Small kitchen, not really made for a cooking show. So, anybody out there got a space that I can, use for a cooking show in the Jefferson City, Tennessee, or Jefferson County area, I'll be more than happy to come and cook. Speaking of the Jefferson County area, that is where we cover, and we will be going into news. So we are bipartisan. So for those of you that don't know what that means, we're not Democrat and we are not Republican. We are who's the best person for the job. And that's what we are about. Now we're going to add some garlic. 2 tablespoons of garlic. I always drain the juice. I don't know if that's required. It's just something I've always done personally. Yeah, I probably stepped out of the frame, and that's okay. We're back. Now I'm going to mix this in. Anyway, like I was trying to say is we are wanting to represent small businesses in the county. So if you have a business and you don't really have an advertising budget, we would love to come and film a small commercial for you and put it on our site. Right now we're using YouTube until we have enough money raised to create the OTT, which our goal is roughly about $6,000. That'll also allow me to buy some scanners so I can listen in to get better news updates. I want to be a good reporter and go to those locations. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. You can find this, believe it or not, at your local grocery store.
And it's non-alcoholic.
Alright, we're going to mix that in. And I know it sounds funny, rice wine vinegar, but I promise, when it comes to Chinese cooking, they do have some interesting ingredients. Now, I will warn you, this one does have a little bit of a smell to it. It is a vinegar after all. But it won't last long, and we're going to overpower it with something else here in just a few minutes. So next up, we are going to add some soy sauce.
I just got a whiff of that rice vinegar.
It's pretty strong. We're going to add 2 tablespoons. You can go with 1. It'll do the job, but I like 2. It's a little extra, but it does help bring out the flavoring. Now, step it out of the picture so I can rinse. And then we're going to mix that in. So, like I said, we are going to be providing content and trying to get news locally, because we really don't have a lot of choices out there. Our local stations are based out of our biggest area, which is Knoxville. So we'd have to do some major stuff in order to get on TV. It's not even fair to our politicians and to us who vote. And like I said, we are bipartisan, but we want to know about our people, you know. Now, I am going to dry this out since we had water in it. But now we are going to, usually I use fresh ginger. I've done this in a pinch a time or two. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of ginger. Just spread that around. If you've never used fresh ginger, it does make a difference. And because of some of the other ingredients and the stuff we put in, it does give enough liquid in here to actually stir it in and mix it up. But the fresh ginger is much better. So if you got the time, go for it. I recommend it highly. It's still just as good if you use the other stuff. Just a little better with all fresh ingredients. Alright, so now here comes that famous ingredient that actually brings this dish to amazing taste. It is 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce. And sometimes, if I don't quite use a pound of chicken or I get a little over, then I will add more. Hopefully this will do the trick. It should. I'm making a mess, I can tell you that. Oh yeah, that's gonna look good. We're not done. Almost. It's not too long or too hard. It's prepping everything and getting it ready to cook. That's the timely thing. I guess it took me probably about 45 minutes to get everything prepped before I started really cooking. Now, some people like it spicy. This is an optional ingredient. You do not have to add the sriracha. I add just a little bit. It usually calls for a tablespoon of option. And this is going to fight me. Should have been prepared.
Here.
Alright, I'll let her work on that. Now I'm going to throw just a little bit of salt. And a little bit of freshly grounded pepper. I really don't like to use any other kind of pepper, to be perfectly honest with you.
Here you go.
I like it nice and fresh. Alright. So, like I said, they usually call for a tablespoon. What I do, because I do like a little spice with it, I just take it and I just run a few spots. I mean, very lightly. Just give it a little kick. A good alternative is Frank's. You know the commercial. You use that stuff on everything. I'm keeping it G-rated. My wife is from Buffalo, New York, so we like to use a lot of Frank's around here. Alright, here we are. We are almost there. Now, the other optional ingredient, which I did not have sitting out, so I'm going to step out of frame, and I'm so sorry. Peanuts. I know some people, but it is actually an ingredient. And I don't use a whole lot, just a little bit. And then, last but not least, green onion. They usually say 2. I usually do 4. Alright. Oh, sorry, 3. We did 3 this time. And then we just mix it all together. And I know you're going to want to see what this looks like. Which, I already have a piece of lettuce over here cut. Let me just grab a fork. And voila, chicken and lettuce wrap. And I thank you for your time. I look forward to meeting all of you in Jefferson County. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.